Hello everybody, good evening. It is January 13th, 2026. It is Tuesday night. It's, I think, right up at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I am starting the video off in the down camera angle because I've had this little precious guy sitting on my lap who has needed some snuggle time. I think I have removed him from the table and or my lap a half a dozen times already this evening. So we're just gonna keep him here as long as we can, and you can enjoy Turbo. Nope, now he's gonna roll over and be extra cute. Let's see. I don't know. We might be able to work with this little guy. Turbo is here to remind you that bonus days is currently going on. So your orders through February 2nd, every $50 you are going to earn a $5 code or coupon for you to use in the month of February. So after you place your order, you will receive an email from Stampinup that has the codes. So if you spent over $100, you would have 2 codes in there. So you'll have $10 for your next order in February, because they are only good for that month. You also are going to earn your Stampin' Rewards, so you can double up on those if you wish. Just as a reminder, your Stampin' Rewards, you earn 10% back for future purchases on all orders $25 or more, and those Stampin' Rewards are good for 1 year. So if you order today, the Stampin' Rewards that you earn today are good through January 31st, 2027. So it's up to you. Some people like to save them up and use them as one go, and some people will just use them as they go along. And Turbo is continuing to give himself a little tidy. I do want to talk to you about the product of the month. I was surprised. I did not think my order was going to come until like Thursday, but I did receive my product of the month. So this came out for January. So while supplies last, with your 75. Oh, you gonna go? You gonna go? Here, let me help you. So your $75 order, you can add this to your cart for $5. There may also be a designer series paper, which was the December product of the month. You are allowed 1 product of the month per order, per account. So if you wanted to pick this up, you could get this with a $75 order. You pay $5. Now your order is at $80. And then you could order next week $75, and you could pick up the blue DSP that I've showed several times on your next one. So you can get multiple products of the month in a single month, but you have to split them up with orders, but you're only allowed to get 1 of each item. And since this came today, I'm actually going to use the Sending Love sentiment from this on my project today. So I was pretty excited about that. Just another reminder about the virtual card workshop. I know I did not do a newsletter today. There wasn't really anything new, and I have just been, these last 2 days at work, I think I'm going to be the most busy I've ever been in my job. It's like everything happening at once. I cannot wait for next Thursday. That'll be the day of days. So since my order came, that does mean that I will be able to work on paper share and ribbon share for those who ordered the paper share and ribbon share. And so I am doing like Valentine theme tonight. We're about a month away from Valentine's because it's February 14th. So I just thought this would be a good week to do Valentine, as well as look at some Valentine products that are new in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. And since the order came today, I have the 2 DSPs that I can open up and show you. They are part of the share, so I'm going to try to be very careful while opening those. But this is the sentiments, and they are much larger than I thought they were when I saw them online. Now, the description said that they were like a reversible. I don't think that they are. So let's look at the catalog, which you can also see these online. I just wanted to highlight the Valentine products that are available right now. I do not think that there was any online exclusives. So there is a scrapbooking workshop kit. I do think that this page is super cute. So I wanted to show that. So for $37, you would get everything that you need. I don't know, you might need some ink. But you get the paper and the sticker sheets and the instructions to do these 3 layouts. And let's see, I wanted to point out, if you, this is a 6x6 paper stack, which I do have. I'll open up, we'll take a look at a mix and match design. So some very simple Valentines. So if you are somebody who is looking for some new products to do some Valentine this year, I would go ahead and order ASAP so you can get your Valentine items in time to not be so stressed with your projects. And then finally, there is a full suite. This does kind of coordinate back to the scrapbooking workshop kit. And this is the Made with Love suite, which I do have this paper as well that I'll show. There is this cute embossing folder. The little hearts, this is page 31. The little shaker stuff is quite adorable. There's a little envelope and lips, and there's a couple hearts, and then just some like little kind of confetti pieces. They're calling that the loose Valentine assortment. These treat bags are actually pretty large. I've seen like somebody, I think there might be 2 sizes, 16 bags. One's 4x6. They're all the same, 4x6 by 1 1/4. I thought that they were pretty decent size from the pictures that I saw. And then you can kind of check out the dies here. I do think it's cute that there are little arrows, and the XOs and the XX, those are a little bit different than some of the things that we've had in the past. So we'll just take a live look at this DSP real quick. I'll just cut from the back. So this is the 6x6 stack that has the cut aparts. I think this would be fun to work, and I'll see, I see hi Mom, hi Linda. I do think that this would be a fun pack to work with for making Valentines, maybe for kids' class, you know, maybe even for work. So as you can see that these are this cut apart design. So there's words on one side, and then the other side doesn't have words. So that's really fantastic. And so same thing with this design here. So here's some little to from labels. I think if you are a free form scrapbooker, these might be a good pack for you for that. You have like a picture mat right here. And then here's the other side of that one. And so here's one that's similar. We have Happy Valentine's Day. So you could really make some cards without probably even stamping. We have the fun, this is a fun red stripe, love it. And then a little blue check. So this is kind of a good universal pattern. The red, you know, too, we could use that. And then we have a little bit of lavender purple with some little hearts. So really adorable 6x6 pack there. And then the 12x12 pack, I want to make sure I set these. And this is a regular designer series paper. And again, if you have the paper share, you'll be getting your portion of that. I'll be working on that probably this weekend. So we have the XOs, stripes, hearts. I like the polka dot. I'm always a fan of a polka dot. I like this is kind of a different, like a dot dash pattern, kind of cool. Hearts, hearts, a lot of hearts, little flowers, then hearts. This is a gradient heart, actually, so I don't know if that comes up on the camera well, that it's a few different colors. I'm thinking like that's real red, probably melon mamba, and then maybe flirty flamingo. I'll have to see what the colors are on the back. And then here's our little arrow pattern. So the colors: Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, Real Red, Strawberry Slush. So not the Mamba, but I got 2 out of 3. Not bad. I'm going to go set these in this box over here real quick because I do not want to get them messed up. There was a lot of new papers between the mini catalog and the online exclusive. So tonight I am going to straighten out my camera. I'm doing a Valentine card because, again, that paper just got here today, so I couldn't have planned to use that paper for projects tonight. I mean, I guess maybe, but really not. So I thought about, well, what can I do Valentine-wise with products that I have already? And so if you saw the thumbnail, that's kind of what we're going to do tonight. So I have the sample that I'm going to make with you live now. I'm using the perennial postage dies, which these are available, but I know a lot of my customers have these dies, so I know it's probably something already in your stash. And I pivoted my die cut because the sentiment I'm using is sending love, so I thought it was cute. Oh, well, it looks like a stamp, and we're going to be sending love, okay? So it just works out that way. So what I have, if you're curious about dimensions, this is basic white. It is 3 3/4 by 5. And then my Real Red piece is 1/8 bigger. So that gives you 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Just to get the skinny border. And then that gives you like a nice thick white border. For this card, I am using the thick wide card base. There's something when I'm doing like a white on white card, I really do like having the thick white as a card base, especially because there's no additional layers to this. That's it. So what I'm doing is I have cut, these are 1/4 inch scraps from my scraps, and what I did is I just went through, I don't know if you can see in my little picture, I have my 8.5 by 11 cardstock lives behind me, and so I just pulled all the pinks and reds. I did not venture into the purple end of things. I think the purpliest I have would maybe be the Melon Mamba, but even then I think that really is still more pinky orange. So this is kind of on the purpley side, but it's pink enough. It gives you just a little, it's this one here. It gives just the right amount of contrast. I think that's the Bubble Bath. And it does kind of lean, right? Is that what that was? Yeah. Let me make sure. Yeah, it kind of leans purple, but it gets you into the pink mode. So I saw this technique. There is a gal, I think she's Australian. She's not a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but she has a pretty big YouTube channel, and I found her a while ago, and she did this with a card, and it looked so cool. Here we go. I'm getting my little silicone sheet. So I know that this is the front of my card. I can tell from the die, so I'm going to turn it over. And what you're going to do is with your little scraps, and you can do this with any color. So I know I talk a lot about if you are short on supplies or you don't want to buy anything new, this is a way, or how do I use all of my scraps? You know, pink and red, we automatically think it's Valentine's. Red and green, you think it's Christmas. All different shades of green, it's St. Patrick's Day. Red, white, and blue, it's Independence Day. Orange, yellow, and black is Halloween. You can throw various fall colors together. So use your color to dictate whatever you're doing. And in this case, we're going to do Valentine's. Now, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. You could be like super methodical, and you could do these straight across like this and just tap them down and try to get them as close together. Or you can do what we're going to do tonight, and we're going to do like kind of crazy zigzag. I'm going to use my Tombow, and I'm just going to start layering down. My main focus is to make sure that it covers the full space, like tip to tip. So like I'm not going to take this short one and try to go diagonal that way. Whoa, what just happened to my computer screen? And again, I didn't have any rhyme or reason on the length of these. It really was just whatever little scraps I had. Turbo's in the litter box. I don't think anybody can appreciate little Turbo and his litter box antics unless you are me or my husband, because he has a little production go on in there. The smallest cat makes the most noise. He just has to scratch the ceiling of the box and all the sides, and it's quite hilarious. So it does take a little bit of time. You can overthink it. Ask me how I know. But I'm going to encourage you to try your best not to overthink it. My main thing is trying not to put, see, like that, I want to put one here, and that's the same color. So I don't want to do that. That's kind of my biggest thing. Doing this technique, it can get a little bulky. So keep that in mind. If it goes over the edge, I'm not worried about going over the edge. I'll use my scissors to trim up. I do think this would be cute with, that's kind of the same color. Even using pattern paper. You could do, let's say if you were doing maybe this technique on a scrapbook page or something a little larger, you could do a larger, or a thicker, I guess would be the right word, a thicker piece. You could do a 1/2 inch, or maybe just go up a little bit. This one is so close. I'm just going to get it before it dries. You know, somewhere between, you know, maybe you're between a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch. That'd be like 3/8. You could maybe mix up the sizes. I kind of myself like the uniformity of, and this is me overthinking a little bit. But you want to cover everything. It does get a little messy, which is why I have the silicone sheet down, because you don't want to be gluing your card front to your grid sheet or your table. So think about any shape die that you might have. You could do a circle, you could do a square, maybe you have like you could have a heart. I have a sample. Maybe I don't know, like an animal shape. I don't know, I think like if you had like a duck die. Stampinup's never had like a large duck die, but you know, we don't have to live and die with Stampin' Up, I guess, per se. It is my preferred. Now, I know there's a little gap here, so I'm actually going to take one of these and just cut it a little smaller. Shorter, I guess I should say. And we're almost done here. I know it's not super thrilling, but it is part of the process. I kind of thought, oh, I'll do one like halfway, and I thought, no. I think for this, there's kind of value in seeing everything. And again, you could just stack them on top of each other. But I think it looks pretty cool. It doesn't look like much now. That's not going to work. My screen keeps shutting off, and then I'm scared it's going to not record. Come on now. Weave. Okay, so I see a comment about weaving. I suppose you could do that. I mean, I would say that's like a definite great idea. That would give you a different look than what we are going to get. And again, you know, this is for inspiration. So if this inspires you to weave, then by all means, weave away. I think if I can get 2 more pieces in. It always gets hard at the end, I think, because it's like, well, what colors? I'll do one more straight across here. And then I can let it sit for a second to dry. I'm gonna wipe off my fingers. So it looks kind of crazy from the back. Definitely crazy. Let's see here if I can get... Okay, so then I have my little scraps. My fingers are all gluey. Okay. So now we look. There's a little kind of gap right there. So let me see. Now I definitely think you could do some and leave some gaps. I thought about that on a sample I was doing, and I was like, oh, I'll put it on gold or silver. And then I was like, no, I want to, because it does add up, it adds some bulk. So then I'm just coming through with my snips. Throw those in the trash. Those are trash. Those little pieces are trash. And I'm a little dirty here. I have this rubber eraser. Stampinup sold these a long time ago. You can find one at a craft store, and it helps get adhesive off. And that's what you're seeing if you can see the stuff on the white. So I am now going to stamp. It is a little bumpy down here. You could do a couple of things. You could get out your stamp position tool, and that way you could get, you could stamp it several times to get a good sentiment. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I had mine out for one I was working on, the old Stamparatus. Shout out to the Stamparatus. Tools like the Misty, there's lots of tools out there that exist. I'm just going to do this because it is bulky. Now, you could have stamped before doing the background. I have not, because I'm scared when it's upside down and if there's tackiness, it's going to smear the ink. And I didn't want to take that risk. So that's why I'm stamping after the fact. That's going to be good enough. So this is going to allow me, if I need to ink it twice, that I'm going to get a good position. Oop, and that worked really good the first time. So that makes me happy. Throw it on this block to set on the chamois. It's been a while since I've pulled this out on a video. But again, this is kind of like a use what you got. Now, this is pretty bulky on here, so I am going to use tear and tape to put this on the real red border frame. And then I'm going to even put a little piece in the middle. I'm going to come through with my bone folder. Make sure that gets adhered down real nice. Again, doing a white on white card, make sure that when you're putting this face down, especially when you're using your bone folder to press stuff down, that your your area is clean. If you're scared to do one on white, do a red base, do a pink, whatever, you know, oh, I should probably peel off this middle one. You don't have to use the white. I just think it looks so nice. And this is a skinny border, so I'm going to be very careful placing that. And I'm getting another little smooch on here, but this eraser can take it off because I really want these to be... Now, when I press down on this, we're going to see kind of the craziness from behind pop up, but that's okay with me. And then we can pop this on here with some dimensionals. Now, none of my samples I've put bling on. Definitely blingable. You know, you can bling this. But again, I kind of kept going back and forth and like, oh, it's just so clean without. And then I'm giving it that thick base. So to me it looks very high end. Now it's kind of cool like how this turned out. Yeah, I was trying to do the edges, so you know, with it being a rectangle, it just can turn out so different. So here is using the banners, the party banner dies, which you can get these as a bundle. It comes with the alphabet. And so for this sentiment, I used the layered thoughts, the love, and the you. So I was going to do this shape again until I got the sending love. And I'm just stamping with black. Now I did use the large letters here from the banner dies to do a slim card. Now this one was wild. A lot of these actually go across. You can see some of the first layers go across multiple letters. And this one is like kind of thick on here. But I love the way this one turned out. And so this ends up being measured, and I laid out my letters on the grid sheet to see how large the size I wanted for the white. So the card base for this is, let me give you the full measurement. So if you're curious about this slim card, it is 7 by 8 1/4. So that means it is scored at 3 1/2. Of course, you're going to have to make yourself an envelope or use a business envelope. Use a business envelope. You know, maybe stamp on it and make it a little snazzy. So my white piece is 7 by 2 3/4. Let me make sure. Nope, it's 7 1/4 by 2 3/4. And the border on this is a 1/4 inch larger. It's not the real thin border. So I love this one. So then I thought, so I had made this, and of course now I had, so when you do this, I had to glue the middle of the O back on there. So then I thought, oh, what do I do with the letters left over? So I have them, I did just a background where I just butt the scraps right up against each other, so they're just boop, 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 one after another. And then the love is up there with dimensionals, and it is just pure white on there. This one I did a Melon Mamba little border, and then the U is from the Layered Thoughts U. And I use the cute little 3-in-1 banner punch here for this. And I did it twice, because when it was just plain white, it felt like a little lost. So I cut one out of Melon Mamba, which is my border, and then I sliced it in half just to give it a little border to make it a little pop-yuppy. A little pop there. And my final sample, I used the retired heart dies from last year. So if you still have these, I still have these in my collection. So these are retired. You could probably find them on eBay. But there's heart die, like the new ones would work. And I did this, so I butt them all up to each other. So it's kind of like this idea without the layer. And the Love You Lots sentiment is new from the Sweet Bugs. And these are now, all of our stamps are photopolymer now, which means you can bend them on your block a little bit. So I want to show you what I did. So here's the heart, and I had the sentiment, and it's a straight sentiment. Let me right, so you stamp it and it's straight. So as a guide, I had the die cut heart, and I went, well, that's lackluster. So I figured, okay, if I kind of bend it up a little this way, you can kind of hold an end and bend it up this way. And then I could kind of, now my heart's all black. I'm like, okay, I need to bend it a little less. So then I did a test stamp. And I thought, oh, it lines up there. So I knew it would match the shape on the card front. And now I'm going to have to ink this heart up. So one thing that the gal who I saw kind of do this technique, she would have a, where's the one that we just did? What did I do with them? So she would have one where it was like huge, like a large die cut, and she was taking a different die cut and placing it in the middle. So kind of like this idea, but opposite. So think of like all of these stripes, and then you would place like a white heart in the middle, or a flower, or black or something. I just went with a smaller shape so I could get a sentiment on the front. So she would have a large, you know, maybe we would have, what, maybe this size of banner? Bigger? So she would have the die cut like this. She'd have all of her little pieces in, and then she'd be like, oh, I'm going to take this flower, and maybe that has a sentiment on it, and then that was going in the middle. I know that the same color is here. Here's the die cut, and she was putting something in the middle of it. So I thought that was kind of a cool idea, too. I don't have any samples like that. They're all what you see is what you got. But I am, thank you for all of the compliments. I am super just thrilled the way that these turned out. So, I mean, my idea was I was going to take this white and do the same thing with this one. But I got ink on it showing you guys. That's okay. So I have some little banners. I'll probably throw these actually into my white scrap folder, because then when I'm looking for something for a sentiment or whatnot, I already have them die cut. Ooh, we like the cards. I get an approval from Mom, so that's good. Well, it's only 7:06. That's like fantastic. I'll do like one last little story through, because sometimes it looks a little different. So here's the one that we made. Here's my sample. And so if you kind of, I don't know, you can kind of see like here and here. But I don't think it matters. Here's this one. This is actually the first one I did, so that's how brave I am. And so here's kind of the, if you don't want all of the bulk, then go with this technique. Just my suggestion and encouragement for butting the little scraps up is, when in doubt, just overlap maybe a teeny tiny bit if you're not feeling confident with it. And then here's the love just on the stripe. So I'll definitely get some good photography of these and share these throughout the times. Can you show the mini catalog? I mean, it's right here, wherever it went. I have piles of them to give to people when I actually remember to take them places with me. I'm not going to flip through it page by page. It's just, I'm not going to do that on a video. Nobody's going to, I want people to actually watch, hang out. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this on replay, hello, thank you for being here. Make sure to like the video, subscribe. I'm at 44 subscribers, so I'm almost to 50. So we could get some more subscribers. And that's going to really wrap it up. Make sure to be shopping this month for the bonus days. It is a good deal. There's so much new product. There's the catalog. Everything can be available. It can be found online. So don't forget about, there's online exclusives. There's the catalog. There was new kits collection. There's still the workshop that is later this month. You would earn, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 bonus day coupons if you order that this month. If you would like to get some of the new Valentine products, which again, there's some really great ones, I'll just pull out the, you do get a couple heart dies with the new suite there. And they're pretty good size by looking at the card front here. It gives you an idea about size. I would order that as soon as you can so you have those items. I think shipping is back to normal. I did not check, so that is my fault thing. Shipping is always crazy like the first couple of days with a new product launch. I don't think I'm missing anything, so we're gonna wrap it up. hope you have some good little Valentine inspiration with this. I had a really great time making these and trying out that new technique. I do have another sketch ready to go if I need that for next week or whatnot. We will be back next Tuesday at 6:30. I have no idea what I'm doing yet, so we'll figure that out. I do have a long weekend, and I just plan stamp club projects, which I do have a couple of ideas for, which is pretty good considering this last weekend. If you saw over on Facebook, we had a freezer incident, and so I had to can pretty much all weekend and not craft. So you have to be around the pressure canner to make sure. You know, you gotta hear that just to make sure. If I had a gas stove, I probably wouldn't be as paranoid, but there we are. As always, let me know if you have any questions about anything that you see online or just, whatever, life advice. Not that I have it together, but, whatever. We'll see you around the internet, and do not forget to mail a card or 2 or 10 out this week. You can make somebody smile for less than $1. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.